Can you turn up the house lights, please? Just for this one speech. Thank you.
So, thank you so much. We want to move this along because I'm getting hungry and I don't want to eat before the caterers leave. I think we have thanked everyone that needs to be thanked. Suzanne, Andrew, Spanberger, Linnea, oh my gosh, my adopted daughter, and Lee for your personal efforts. Mac was so excited about this. He looked so forward to being here, and to being with all of you, and to thanking all of you. I'm going to make this short because I really am hungry. In most professions, people ask, where did you go to school? Or where did you study? And I think in the arts, we generally ask, who was your teacher? Who did you study with? Because we can learn to play piano by putting plastic paper strips behind the keys, and we can learn to paint by following that little fuzzy-haired guy on TV, learning to paint a tree. But we get our artistic soul from a teacher. And I think this is evidence today that Mac's artistic soul he got from Tony Disler, and he got from the wonderful Arthur MacDonald at St. Andrews. And I think he's hopefully imparted his soul and his spirit and his passion to all of these people, including to Lisa, and maybe she's passing it on to her students at Tucker. Many people have commented that how sad it is for Mac to have missed this. But he knew very much what this was going to be. I mean, we tested punch recipes, he picked all these songs, and he would order and think, well, it needs more of this, and it needs less of that. He talked to everyone. He called them and said, they're going to name this theater after me, and I want you to come. And so he talked to everyone. We had a very tough couple months, but it was really a wonderful couple months. And we thank the Henrico County School Board for not making, and for Lee for not making this a surprise, because he enjoyed every moment of this planning. He even wrote his thank you speech. It was to be taped. And when I read it, I said, Mac, I think this is a little bland. And he says, well, it's what I want to say because I want to thank these people. And I said, okay, it's what I wanted. And Mac got what he wanted. Now, he always said that I got everything I wanted, so I have edited. To tell which are his and which are my words. These are the bland words. In May of 1982, I just finished giving my last exam in Highland Springs High School when I got a call from Godwin High School's principal, Alan Dessenberger. I'd been recommended by two of his current faculty, Dennis Weimer and Blanton Bradley, to interview for the upcoming drama position. It seems that the principal really wanted to build a theater program, very much like Lee. Thank you, Lee. I did the interview and left the area to do summer stock in Kentucky, leaving me to take care of the house and the dog. A position I find myself in again today. Because I had heard nothing, in August I called the school and spoke with Mary Wright, the principal's secretary, explaining that I had to make a decision about the upcoming year. Within 15 minutes I got a call back and was told not to take another job, and the rest brings us to where we are today. In the beginning, I taught 2 drama classes and 3 10th grade English classes. I think we also forget that Mac taught English. Thank you, John, for reminding us. He taught the lower level. I don't think we can call it that now. Not the AP or the honors. And he was very moved by a letter. This was a very special memory for him that he received from a father thanking Mac for encouraging his daughter in this lower level class, for making her feel that she could succeed, that she was smart, and she was more capable than she had been led to believe. We performed the 2nd and 3rd shows in Godwin history. You Can Take It With You was my first play. I think only 40 people showed up. And I think Mrs. Crenshaw bought all of the tickets. My first musical, Oklahoma, had a cast of 54 and was a success. And you learn the marketing strategy of a big cast and a big audience. The following year, we did 3 shows. By that time, I had gotten assistance from Nancy Barrett and Jim Lanham, and we thought we could do any musical. 2 musicals and 1 play later, we were exhausted. Despite our exhaustion, we kept this trio together until 1989, and our audiences slowly grew. In 1989, we got a true gem with the arrival of Sherry Matthews to head our vocal music program. She remained with the program through the 2010-2011 school year. When Leon Almond became a band director, he took over the pit preparations and directed the orchestra. He used Godwin students as much as possible, but was known to call in favors from friends when needed. And I have no doubt that Mac and Leon are now in a celestial collaboration. Because none of us ever thought we could choreograph a musical, Mac could not even dance. We had a number of talented individuals who joined us. Robin Arthur, Rosemary Liberto, the incredible Amy Holland, Brandon Becker, Andre Rivers, me, Gavin Stewart, to name a few. Amy even taught fall tap dance classes twice a week to be able to do 42nd Street and Anything Goes. But I got to do the fight choreography. And I was so excited and so happy one year because we got to do Macbeth and he bought me broadswords. Oh, you know, that's a very odd Christmas present. But it was... As the shows got bigger, I learned to add shop people to help with the scenery. They cut wood, worked tech calls, and made my shows look good. A special thanks to Bill Lucas, Mike Martin, Bill Vick, Casey Selhorst, and Henry Herbert for their work with the short pump players. The art department with Jane Mack, Adele Quimby, Anita Stratton, and Lindsay Herbert produced most of the great posters for our shows, which Lee has put up in the back and look wonderful. Nancy Barrett organized and made costumes for many productions. Again, as the shows became more complex, we found costume houses in New York who would rent to high schools. After Nancy retired, Suzanne Bristow came on board to help with costumes, and my last designer was the gentle and talented Ellen Malloy. Our stage crews were rarely seen, but they made every production succeed. Bravo to all of you great crew people who built turntables and 2-story balconies, who mastered sophisticated lighting and individual body mics. It was you who brought out the best in Godwin's productions, and we thank our talented current thespians today for their support. I also had great support from our parents. However, you know, as educators, we know that not all parents act as parents should. And Mac took his role as a second dad very seriously. There were times when he'd say, well, I'm going to bring the food. I have to bring so-and-so dinner tonight because he couldn't get out to get dinner, which was kind of a cue for, well, he didn't have any money to buy any food. Or I'm going to take him home tonight because we're working late, which meant that the parents weren't going to pick him up. Mac loved every one of those children. He didn't share that much. He didn't let on with much. But he took that role as a dad very, very seriously. And he said once that he knew that he spent more time with his kids than some of their actual parents. I had the support from the short pump players' angels, parents who took over the care and feeding of the cast, who managed the publicity and programs, and kept the backstage flowing smoothly. The parent groups raised funding, including the annual yard sales and a car raffle, that helped send our students to perform at the International Fringe Festival in Edinburgh, Scotland, on 3 separate occasions. These trips were a major financial and organizational undertaking, and one that gave our students a chance to expand both their performance art and their view of the world. Many thanks to booster parents, presidents, and parents who gave endless hours, and some are out there today in the lobby. Skeeter Hickman, Marianne Burns, Sherry Wolf, Julie Clemens, Kim Spensieri, Bev Niffen, Glenn and Andrea Booker, Beth Sonnenberg, the LaFoons, Cindy and Gary Hendrick, Fran and Faye Kessler, the Steingolds, the Spicknells, Katie and Gary Hatwick, and Mariah Tisdale, and to all of the others that I have not mentioned. The Godwin faculty also kept me headed in the right direction throughout all of those years. You always seemed to come on board just when things were needed. Mary Mordecai, Rebecca Struble, Maley now, John Rollison, Ron Exel, Mark Chamberlain, Sue Robertson, my dear friend Sharon Parrish, Paige Whitten, John Morano, Billy Browning, and Les Brannick. Also Terry Moore, Dave Myers, and of course John McGinty. You always made the wheels turn by supporting the productions with your presence, both on the stage, in the audience, organizing backstage, and in helping the students stay on top of their academic responsibilities as well. As you can imagine, with growing audiences came growing production costs, with the musical often costing $13,000. But some of the income helped buy a new lighting board, a new stage floor, and mats for the wings to allow the sets to move more easily. So I want to thank all of you all for your donations today, and go please buy a shirt. These are Max shirts because they're way too big for me. And you don't actually have to wear them. You actually don't even have to take them. You could just, dust your furniture with them. But just make sure that you give a donation to help out the current students and the booster organization today. I mean, Mac was P.T. Barnum, he would sell anything. I've often been asked for my favorite shows, and I've always had trouble with the response. Each production was special in its own unique way. Student actors and singers were chosen from auditions open to the entire student body, and there were surprises. A leading lady sometimes appeared with no warning. A male football player could surprise you with his singing voice and his dance moves. Many times, show choices presented problems. A lead who had line problems, or guys who could not get the words to flow together. Or even leads who returned to the original script after changes had been made to clean up word choices. Those were not pleasant evenings in the cafeteria. For one musical, I think it was Barnum, everyone tried to learn to juggle. For another, they all learned to tap dance. Sometimes the cast had to deal with lots of scenery. How to Succeed in Business comes to mind. And a style of production that only parents could grasp. I'm thinking Pirates of Penzance. It was all part of theater education. Mac may not have had a favorite production. I think he was partial to Oklahoma because he did it 5 times. He did it twice here, once at Highland Springs, once for St. Michael's, and once for Lebanon High School, where he went back to after he graduated from college, and they said, could you help us with our senior skit? And he says, oh no, we're doing a show. They invited us back in 2013, the year he retired, to their 40th reunion, and they still talked about that show, kind of like we are today. It's pretty amazing theater, isn't it? Now, I have a few favorite moments for musicals. These are mine, not his. The butterfly net from Little Mary Sunshine. Oh my gosh, Bunky, I still remember this. The standing ovation in the middle of a show after Brandon and Chris sang in Big River. The middle of a show, I've never experienced that before and after. My favorite memory, though, is the Sunday rehearsal for Les Miserables. So during the scene, the 12 or so students are defending the barricades, singing as the first shot rings out, all 12 fall down dead. I said, man, that was one heck of a shot. And he goes, yeah, we got to work on that. So they're all lying there, and we hear these little things. And I said, you can't sing if you're dead. And I hear a little voice going, I'm only wounded. The full-length plays also bring back many wonderful memories. Steel Magnolias, Greater Tuna, My Three Angels, The Laramie Project, and Of Mice and Men. Also special was Boys Next Door. This is my last personal comment, is about this show. If you don't know this show, it is about a group home for men who are developmentally delayed, either physically or emotionally delayed. And during one of the performances, I come out and I see this parent standing there, just quiet. And I went up and I said, Dr. Nogi, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Yeah. I had a patient today that was just like the character my son portrayed." And he said, "I am so grateful to have my son as who he is, as we all are." That was what theater does. And as Mac wrote in all of his program notes, theater is about people, it's about situations, it's about choices, and it's about always making us a better person. I want to thank a special thanks to all of the parents, students, faculty, administration, and their friends who have, through the years, shown their dedication and comprehension of theater as it is meant to be. My 31 years at Godwin have been enriched by all of you. Many thanks for all of the messages of support and to those individuals that we've all named who have worked to make today happen. I am so blessed by the love and support from all of you here. Thank you, Henrico County School Board, for this remarkable honor. Thank you.
Have a seat. We've now reached the halfway point. That's fine. Actually, what we're going to do right now, everyone in the show, stick around, take the stairs here. We're going to sing a little bit, because why not? Let's